So we have some news coming in, and it's that Dillian Whyte has reportedly failed a drugs test, or has actually tested positive, I should say, for a banned substance. Now, I'm on Boxing Scene. There are people who've broken this article, and they're saying that the positive test actually came back before Dillian Whyte fought Oscar Rivas. It says here the positive test result is believed to have come back on July 17th. A knowledgeable source says that it was reported that Dillian Whyte's camp, including Matchroom Boxing and the British Board of Boxing, controlled by UCAT prior to the Whyte Rivas fight. However, the British Board of Boxing Control allowed the fight to proceed as scheduled. Under rules in place in the United Kingdom, Whyte has the right to appeal. UCAT take the position that until the adjudication is processed, he is basically blah, blah, blah. He's not in breach of anything. Okay, so it's not really going into anything major on that. It's just basically saying that, the British Board of Boxing Control chose not to take action before the fight. I think it's going to be something that's going to be looked at after. Okay. They're also mentioned that Whyte has previously tested positive in the past for a banned substance that was called. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. It's basically the substance that he tested positive for was in an energy drink called Jack 3D. Jack 3D is a pre-workout. You can still get Jack 3D, but I never used it myself. But apparently, it's nowhere near as good as it used to be. So that substance that was in it has obviously been taken out of it. Now, he got a 2-year ban for that, believe it or not. But yeah, this is interesting. I'd be interested to see what these tests say and what it was that he tested positive for, because Dillian Whyte, he doesn't. Although, to be fair, there's a lot of fighters don't look like they're on PEDs, but they are, because Dillian Whyte, although he's muscly, he's not exactly the body beautiful type. Let's just leave it at that. But yeah, Dillian Whyte testing positive. You don't tend to, and I'm not making any accusations here, but you don't tend to see matchroom fighters get popped too often. You see people like Tyson Fury and Hughie Fury when all that issue with UCAT came about. And I still think to this day that issue with UCAT had a lot to answer for that. Because UCAT, essentially, Tyson Fury, for those who don't know, when he tested positive for the Christian Hammer fight. Okay? That was in February of 2015, and he failed the drugs test a year later. It was actually reported a year later that he failed the drugs test. So he was able to fight Klitschko, do all that, and then only when he started making some kind of out there comments was when all this came about. You very seldom hear of UK fighters, failing drug tests at all. You hear about Billy Joe Saunders when he, tested positive for the nasal spray, but that was that VADA who he failed that with, or was it the Massachusetts Commission? It was one or the other, but it wasn't UCAT. UCAT seemingly had no problem with that. We know Anthony Joshua has, what is the name of it? I think it's some testosterone builder, which he's kind of been given a pass about. I think it's like a cream that you rub on yourself. He's all right with that. So you don't tend to see, fighters from, Frank Warren or Eddie Hearn test positive. And that's not to say that they're not on anything. I think most people are. You hear Deontay Wilder saying that, drug cheat should be this, should be that. Didn't his little brother test positive for drugs only a little while ago? If I'm not mistaken, I think I saw Addy do a video about that. So Dillian Whyte testing positive, and anytime I've reported fighters testing positive on this channel, I've always maintained a strong stance that if they have tested positive, good riddance. Give them a ban. And I want to make this actually clear as well. Dillian Whyte, when he failed that drugs test 2 years ago, as I just stated, he got a 2-year ban. And that was for the substance that was in an over-the-counter supplement, right? Jarrell Miller, 6 months ban for HGH, amongst other things. Silliness. But Dillian Whyte, it really does kind of harper back to, some fighters who, the performances of late have almost been kind of raising eyebrows because they've been very good. And maybe Dillian Whyte was on, who knows. We'll have to wait and see what these test results say. But to me, it is quite disappointing. It's quite disappointing, and it is quite frustrating because these fighters, we just saw a fighter over the weekend pass away. Okay? we've heard Zab Judah say that after his fight with named the guy who got beaten up pretty bad, he wanted a sample of his urine test. This sport is dangerous enough. Why in God's name these fighters do this is beyond me. And as I said, it'd be interesting to see what Dillian Whyte's tested positive for and what happens from then on in. But something needs to be done sooner rather than later, because a fighter's passed away this week. Now, fair enough, we don't know if the fighter who he was fighting was clean or not. But there will come a time where a fighter will get seriously hurt or possibly killed, and it will emerge that the fighter subsequently failed the PED test. And that's when I think it's going to be too... By the time they start changing things around and being stricter on these tests, it's going to be too late. Because if Dillian Whyte has fought whilst, juiced up, that's a damning indictment on the British Board of Boxing Control. So, that's what I got to say on this. Just reporting this news. And, let me know what you think down below. Hope you liked the video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe for new. As always, I will talk to you after.